Everyone. I hope you all are doing well and all of you are safe and healthy. This is Radhika here again, and this video is going to be a spiritual perspective from a Hindu spirituality point of view on the topic of narcissists, empaths, and flying monkeys or enablers. I'm grouping both of them, flying monkeys and enablers, in the same category. And this is kind of like um, a, a reflection on Hinduism and how Hinduism actually has these concepts of narcissism, flying monkeys, and empaths. But obviously, those are not the terms that Hinduism uses to kind of describe this, but the energies or the role that they play are very similar. So without further ado, let me like kind of explain a little bit about some concepts in Hinduism. So in Hinduism, it is believed that this whole reality, or whatever we are living in, the realm we are living in, or the reality or creation, etc., is always guided by three forces. Okay, so the first force is the force of creation. The second force is the force of uh, preserving, so perseverance, or like maintenance, maintaining things that have been created. And then the third force is the destruction, so that one thing ends so that a new thing might begin, or one thing gets destroyed so that a new thing can take its place. And for this, there are three main gods that we those are the symbols of these three energies. So Brahma is the creator, um, and Vishnu is the preserver. Vishnu is the one who makes things go around, who maintains things, the so that things keep running smoothly, so to speak, like a machine. And then there is Shiva, who's the destroyer of things. So Shiva is like he will take one thing down and make space for another new thing to get created in its place, right? So these three together are called as the Trimurti. So I was just thinking that in if you compare this concept to how a narcissist, an empath, and flying monkeys or enablers operate, it's kind of in a similar way. So the empath is more of a creative force, because empaths want to create new things. So when they see, for example, when an empath is born into a family, that person will see, oh, I'm born into this family, and slowly the baby will start developing. And then the baby sees, he or she understands, oh, this is how my family operates. Why do they do this, why do they do that? So the empathic person, he or she will question everything and kind of try to figure things out. And then they will be like, oh, this is not done correctly, this should be done this way, this is wrong. So they start pointing out like flaws in the system, and then they want to correct the flaws in the system. So this corrective force, or this creation force, where you want to change something, is very much like a creative instinct. So empaths have a creative instinct, impulse, the impulse they have, which always shows up mostly in their behavior, is one of creation, where they want to create something of beauty, something of peace, something of love. So it's like a creative impulse that they always have. um, then you take the next, so this is more like the Brahma impulse, or the Brahma category of people who want to create things. Then you take the second category, which is like the enablers or the flying monkeys. And the flying monkeys are also in a way enablers, so because they enable the system to go on, right? So now the enablers, they come, say they are a part of this family. They are like, okay, we see this narcissistic person, we see this scapegoated person or empath who's trying to bring up new things in the family. What should we do? and they play the balancing factor. They play like the balancing act, that sometimes let's take the side of the empath, but other times also let's take the side of the narcissist. So they are kind of in between, always like mediating between these two extremes of creation and destruction, and they are playing their role. So they are more in the preserver energy, so they are more like in the Vishnu energy. And then in the end comes the narcissistic person. So the narcissistic person is the destroyer, right? So their impulse is inherently destructive. So whenever they see something, instead of and say they get jealous of it, instead of creating that kind of a life for themselves, their first thought or their first idea is to destroy it. Why? Because there's no reasoning. That's just the way they are, that's the way they are wired. So in them the Shiva impulse is very high. The need to destruct or the need to destroy is very high. It's not even like after they destroy they will create the same thing for themselves. Sometimes they do, but sometimes they might not even create it. They just want to destroy other things and make space, so this is how like the world is maintained. In a way, that's how the creation is maintained, because if nothing is created, everything is stagnant, right? And if nothing is destructed, then we just get overfilled with a lot of creativity, which causes chaos, right? So to maintain balance, all three things, that is creation, maintenance and destruction, are required in the world. And in Hinduism, all these three are considered gods. So it's not like the destructor is lesser than the creator, it's the same. They are all given equal importance, and they all are, if you look from a spiritual perspective, for this world to function, they all are equally important and they all are equally necessary. So none of them is less and none of them is more. So this is like a really abstract spiritual perspective of the roles that people play. And of course these roles are changeable. So a narcissistic person in one situation can be an empath. In one group the narcissistic person might be an empath. So maybe in the home environment they are the ones who is getting overburdened, has to listen to the spouse is not good, the spouse is more narcissistic, and the this person is taking the brunt of so this person is like the scapegoated person there. But this person, when they go to the office environment, they could behave like a narcissist there. So what I'm trying to say is the roles are really interchangeable according to spirituality, and even if practically you look at it, you might not be the same playing the same role in every environment that you are in. You might have different roles in different environments. Um, so yeah, that was this video. It's just a Hindu perspective on the concept of narcissists, flying monkeys and enablers, and empaths. And I hope this gave you something to think about or gave you some new information that you can research if you're interested. And as always, I wish you all a lot of love and a lot of light. Thank you. Bye.